You and Linwood to a degree. Now you are, in terms of practical success, you're successful practically. But what I'm saying is that Linwood is watching this show because I'm speaking to his soul. That's why he got emotional that day.
Yeah.
Because I know
but
these.
He wasn't emotional today.
May I finish, sir? May I finish?
Let me know when you land.
Must be the money. Must be the money. Got to be, 'cause I got what's wanting to be my friend. Must be the money. People I never knew, people I never thought I'd connect with. Oh no, I don't know what it is. Talk to me, check it out.
After all, AIDS is a deadly, incurable disease. But no matter how you come to judge Charles Wheeler and his partners in ethical, moral, and inhuman terms, the fact of the matter is, when they fired Andrew Beckett because he had AIDS, they broke the law.
What's up, man? Hello. I dropped the link a little early, but yeah, go ahead, man. Yeah, go ahead.
So I have been showing up on Gospel of Bob, and they told me that you are the reason they exist.
Yes.
And I thought, oh wow, interesting. So
yeah.
I came on here to say hello.
Yeah. Oh, hello. How you doing? Happy Wednesday, man. Salute to you.
Yeah,
positivity's coming your way. But so, what are you into? Are you into politics? Are you into race? Today we're gonna have a very political conversation about this newly. She primaried this Democratic. The lieutenant governor of Illinois primaried for the Senate run for November, and what I believe is she may be on the presidential ticket for 2028. That's what she's being prompted up to be. But go ahead. What are you into? Go ahead, buddy.
I have no idea who this woman is. My channel is mostly Hebrew Bible stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I do a little bit of politics, mostly around Iran because I'm from Iran. And yeah, so
we have a gentleman who's Iranian who calls in all the time. He's a friend of the show, Hafiz.
Yeah. On Gospel of Bob, for some reason, when I go on channels, because I am Jewish, Israel keeps on coming up. Although I am not a Zionist, but I'm also not an anti-Zionist. But yeah, there's lots of things we can talk about. But I didn't know this.
How long have you been Jewish? How long have you been Jewish?
I was born Jewish.
Oh, you're born Jewish.
I was born Jewish. Yeah.
There's a lot of Jews in Iran.
Not a lot. There used to be a lot more.
I'm assuming after the revolution. Yeah,
exactly. So my family probably dates back over 1,000 years in Iran. Maybe
no kidding.
More than that. My father's first language was Aramaic.
Yeah,
I still have family who speak Aramaic.
Do you speak a little Farsi? I know you're Jewish, but do you speak a little Farsi?
I speak Farsi. That was my first language. And I don't actually speak Aramaic very well. I can understand a little bit. I learned. I came to the United States, learned English. I am very grateful to be an American. And then I learned Spanish, and then I learned Hebrew. So yeah.
Okay. So last time you've been to Iran?
I was born there. I lived there until I was 6, and then we left. I haven't been back. I have family who still go back, and I have a few family members who still live there. But obviously,
but your family left because of the regime, right? The regime, right?
Yeah. I mean, life in Iran for Jews was not comfortable.
Right. I can only imagine.
the revolution happened.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember as a child, I was in elementary school, and we had an American flag and an Israeli flag painted on the ground in front that you had to step on to walk into class.
Really?
And then we had daily, every morning during our exercises, we had to yell, "Death to America, death to Israel." Right?
Yeah.
And so when Americans talk about Iranians hate America because of X, Y, and Z. First of all, I would say 80% of Iranians hate their own government more than they hate America.
Yeah, I bet.
And I would say the ones that hate America for reasons most Americans, they actually hate the English. You would be surprised how much hate there is for the English in Iran.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of propaganda about America. That's why there's a lot of hate towards America. But but Hafiz talks about a lot of he has a lot of animosity towards the regime as well. Yeah.
I mean, I think most people in Iran do. And like yesterday, apparently they killed off a bunch of other people. Like this war is being like, I don't celebrate the death of anyone, but a lot of people who died who I do not feel bad that they're dead. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where do you live at now? Where do you live at now?
I'm in Los Angeles.
Oh, you're in LA? Okay. So you've been in LA for a minute. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
One of my things is that this is my actual name. If you Google me, you can find my cell phone number. If you can't find my cell phone number, you're too dumb to call me. I'm very, it's easy to find me. I got into a fight with a particular large podcaster, and he.
I'm assuming you're talking about Andrew.
No.
Not Andrew Wilson. Okay. Who
no, I got into a fight with Lion Zion Lex.
Not familiar. Okay.
Yeah. He goes he spells it Lion. I spell it Lyin. But he's a Black Hebrew Israelite.
Oh,
and
God.
he decided to call me a racist and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, come at me, bro. And I made fun of him forever and ever. But
so you are still Persian, yes?
I mean, yeah,
you're still Persian, but
myself Persian.
Okay,
yeah.
but your family lineage goes back 1,000 years as Jews.
Over 1,000 years, probably. Yeah.
But you're not okay.
Yeah,
and you said you're not a Zionist, so you're not interested in a Jewish state, but you are pro-Jew. I mean, obviously, with you.
Yeah, I mean, I like good Jewish people, and I dislike bad Jewish people. And guess what? We got both of them.
So why don't you believe in a Zionist state? Or
I don't believe that the modern state of Israel is a Jewish state. It's a secular state. I think.
Yeah. Well, that's
it's a secular state, and I don't believe in theocracy. I didn't like theocracy in Iran. I don't like theocracy in Israel, and I don't like theocracy in the United States. I believe this.
Chris with the $2 super chat. Mr. CT, will China be next in the war? No, not at all. No.
Although this is, I mean, the war in Iran is a proxy war with China.
Yeah.
It's a proxy war, but we're not gonna. The real question is what's gonna happen in Taiwan.
Yeah, was that a cockatoo in the background?
No, that is my dog with.
Oh, that's a dog.
Okay. Toy. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, you're good. You're good. Yeah. Good.
I have a very cute golden doodle, but he loves his squeaky toys.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you believe in a Jewish diaspora?
Well, I mean, I would love to see. Yeah. I would love to see. I personally, I wouldn't even mind necessarily maybe living in Israel. But if I were living in Israel, I would, as things are, I mean, barring the actual coming of the Messiah,
Yeah.
I would rather live in a democracy than
Yeah.
to live in a supposed Jewish state. I
Yeah.
mean, I think the United States has a great government system.
Yeah.
And I like the government system here in the
We do.
United States.
We have a beautiful republic. So you just mentioned the Messiah. So who is the Messiah to you as a Jew?
So the Messiah is important, but the Messiah is not. It's funny. I was having this discussion yesterday with somebody who he's a Jewish, but he's become Catholic, and we were talking about the fact that the Bible says Cyrus is the Messiah.
Who?
Cyrus. Isaiah clearly says Cyrus,
I have
the
no
Messiah
idea.
of the Lord.
I don't know who the Messiah is. Go ahead.
So like Cyrus was the Messiah. Cyrus.
Okay.
So like at least Isaiah says that clearly.
But who is Cyrus? Who is Cyrus?
Cyrus was king of Persia.
Okay.
And he's the one who lets the Jews go back to Israel and build the second temple.
Yeah.
Right? And so the Bible clearly calls him the Messiah. And
so he will come back, or he already was here.
Well, so this man right here, whose picture I have up, he is.
I just thought that was you as a younger guy with a
no.
hoodie on.
That is he is much younger than me. I believe he's 38 now. He is known as the Yanuka.
Who?
Rabbi Yanuka, Yanuka. If you look him up, you'll find a bunch of Christian videos calling him the Antichrist. But his name is Rabbi Shlomo
Yehudi Be'eri.
Yehuda Be'eri. Yes.
Oh, Be'eri. Okay.
Be'eri, and he is he's my current candidate for if the Messiah were to come. I would not mind at all if the Yanuka became the Messiah. He seems to have all the necessary qualities, but if he's not, he's not. You know.
So let me ask you this. So if he is the Messiah, does that mean that he has like superpowers, or I mean, does he stay alive?
I have heard certain stories of miracles going on around him, but that's not the point of the Messiah. The point of the Messiah is to be a Jewish leader who leads Jews towards God and towards keeping the Torah and makes the world a better place by teaching people to be good people. And he only speaks in Hebrew, but his speeches are amazing. They're very inspiring. I was very impressed. So what happened was, so most of the people who watch my YouTube channel are not Jewish. Most of them are Christian. And they started asking me about him. They're like, there are people saying that he's the Antichrist. Who is he? And my joke is, I went and looked into him, and for the first time, I was like, hey, yeah, he could be the Antichrist. That's a joke. But he is he's very impressive. He's very impressive, and he's a young man who is one of the leaders in Orthodox Judaism, despite his very young age. Somebody his age being as famous as he is kind of unheard of. But he's a very impressive young man. So
he comes back. So will he have like political power, or will he's your Messiah? But how does this work? How does this work institutionally?
If you want, we can pull up Maimonides. Are you familiar with Maimonides?
No, I'm not. I'm assuming that's something dealing with Judaism, right?
Yes. So Maimonides.
I stay away from things that I really. I feel like if I'm not a Jew, I shouldn't read any of this stuff. To be honest with you,
you shouldn't read any of this stuff. I mean, you read our Bible.
It's not. Well, when I was younger, when I was a kid, but yeah. So you're saying you mean the Old Testament is your Bible, or the first 5 books?
First 5 or first, depending on how you count them. But yeah, the Hebrew Bible. But so Maimonides was a rabbi, lived about 1,000 years ago,
Okay.
Rabbi Moses Maimonides, he's known as. And Thomas Aquinas actually quotes him a lot in his Summa Theologica. And he is one of the great codifiers. He was the first person to really codify Judaism.
Yeah.
And he wrote his magnum opus, you might call it, it's called the Mishnah Torah.
I've heard of that. Yeah, I've heard.
I usually translate Mishnah Torah as restatement of the law, and if you and the last two chapters are about the coming of the Messiah.
Okay.
And what he says there is considered definitive by a lot of Jews. It was heavily censored by the Catholic censors for hundreds of years. It's been the newer versions you'll find on the internet are uncensored, so they talk about Muhammad and Jesus clearly, and it's pretty short. But the last two chapters, I would say, while I have some quibbles about the way he words some things, basically do describe how I believe things will happen when the Messiah comes. So if you want, I mean, we can pull them up and go through them. But
yeah. I'm actually interested in hearing this. Yeah.
Okay. So here, let me introduce you to one of the best websites on Judaism available. Let me pull this up for you, if you like. So
while he's pulling that up, guys, I want you guys to go to Veritas Skincare. I've been using these products, particularly the soap, for a few months now, and it's very good. So go to VeritasLLC.com. Go ahead, Jacob.
So this website is Chabad.org. People who've been listening to Tucker Carlson may have heard of Chabad lately. Don't believe everything you're told. And it has a lot of information about Judaism on here, including if you go to Learning and Values and Texts and Writings. So classic texts will have Maimonides. Where is Maimonides? Mishnah Torah Maimonides, right? And it has, well, we won't get into the specifics, but if you go to the very last chapter of Maimonides, Melachim u'Milchamot translates as Kings and Wars, and chapter 11 is it. The interesting part starts at 4 over here, but here we can talk about. Here, I'll make it a little bit bigger so people can read. And
go ahead, please read it for us. Go ahead.
He says, in the future, the Messianic king will arise and renew the Davidic dynasty, restoring to it its initial sovereignty. He will build the temple and gather the dispersed of Israel. Then in his days, the observance of all the statutes will return to their previous state. We will offer sacrifices, observe the sabbatical and jubilee years, according to all their particulars as described by the Torah. Anyone who does not believe in him or does not await his coming denies not only the statements of the other prophets, but those of the Torah and Moses, our teacher. The Torah testifies to his coming, as Deuteronomy 33:5 states, God will bring back your captivity and have mercy upon you. He will again gather you from among the nations. Even if your diaspora is at the ends of the heavens, God will gather you up from there and bring you to the land. These explicit words of the Torah include all the statements made by all the prophets. Reference to Mashiach, Messiah, is also made in the portion of Bilam, who prophesied about 2 anointed kings. The first anointed king, David, who saved Israel from her oppressors, and the final anointed king who will arise from his descendants and save Israel in the end of days. That passage, Numbers 24:17-18, relates, I see it, but not now. This refers to David. I perceive it, but not in the near future. This refers to the Messianic king. A star shall go forth from Jacob. This refers to David, and a staff shall rise in Israel. This refers to the Messianic king, and he gives a bunch of other things. Similarly, with regard to the cities of refuge, well, we can skip that one. One should not presume that the Messianic king must work miracles and wonders, bring about new phenomena in the world, resurrect the dead, or perform other similar deeds. This is definitely not true. I have to say they're kind of overstating this. Maimonides seems to have believed that the Messiah does not need to do any miracles. That doesn't mean he can't possibly do any miracles. Proof can be brought from the fact that Rabbi Akiva, one of the greater sages of the Mishnah, was one of the supporters of King Bar Koziba. This was back in around the year 100, and would describe him as the Messianic king. He and all the sages of his generation considered him to be the Messianic king until he was killed because of sins. Once he was killed, they realized that he was not the Messiah. The sages did not ask him for any signs or wonders. The main thrust of the matter is this Torah, its statutes, and its laws are everlasting. Excuse me. We may not add to them or detract from them. And this is where it gets really hot and spicy. If a king will arise from the house of David, who diligently contemplates the Torah and observes its mitzvot, commandments, as prescribed by the written law and the oral law, as David, his ancestor, compels all of Israel to walk in the way of the Torah and rectify the breaches in its observance and its fights the wars of God, he may with assurance consider him the Messiah. If he succeeds in the above, builds the temple in its place, and gathers the dispersed of Israel, he is definitely the Messiah. He will then improve the entire world, motivating all the nations to serve God together. As Zephaniah 3:9 states, I will transform the peoples to a pure language so that they all will call upon the name of God and serve him with one purpose. If he did not succeed to this degree or was killed, he surely is not the Redeemer promised by the Torah. Rather, he should be considered as all the other proper and exemplary kings of the Davidic dynasty who died. God caused him to arise only to test the many, as Daniel 11:35 states, and some of the wise men will stumble to try them, to refine and to clarify until the appointed time.
Real quick, the internet god said it is possible that CT is the Messiah. How many years of your yeshiva are under your belt? How many years did you go through?
I only went to yeshiva for 1 year. After college, I went for a year to yeshiva. Hello, Andrew. Welcome.
Okay, Andrew, Andrew, you look some sort of Asian, but are you a Jew as well? Are you Jewish?
How's it going? Chaotic truth. I got introduced through Jacob, but I want to talk to you right now.
You want to talk to me about what?
Yeah.
I'm not Jewish, so you want to talk to me about? I don't know anything. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm not Jewish neither. I'm half. I'm mixed. I'm
like
I'm half white.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
You're half white and what?
I'm half white. I'm half Chinese.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I gotta guess. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah. So I got a question. Is that a 3-piece suit you're wearing?
No, it's just a Tommy Hilfiger jacket and a white tee.
Shit, man. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, you look kind of fancy. It was I
just dress like this when I'm on camera and out in public. Yeah, I've always dressed really professional.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Man, you're lucky. I'm wearing anything at all. Like it's nuts out here.
Yeah. You weren't wearing underwear. You wearing underwear at least, right?
I got another question, CT.
Go ahead.
I got another question. So like, this is like maybe the second time I'm hearing of this like open panel, just chatting, whatever thing, and I'm kind of wondering like, why do people start these things? You know, like what's the what's the what's the interest and what's the motivation?
Well, me personally, man, I've always had gift of gab, and I've had many people throughout my life tell me you have great dinner conversation. So many years, I started doing YouTube and you know talking about trending topics, politics, race. A lot of it is content, man. You know, and you know, growing up, probably a little bit older than you. I grew up listening to Howard Stern, Don Imus, Opie and Anthony, and one of the biggest regrets in my life. Are you smoking crack right now? Or are you eating?
No,
you're eating.
no,
Okay.
no,
That's
no.
like
Don't worry. Don't
I
worry.
thought yeah. I never seen a Chinese crackhead, so that probably okay. You were eating something.
Yeah, I'm maybe the first, but yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm not trying
Chinese?
to.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying, are you eating Chinese food right now?
No, no, no. It's lasagna. It's just
Oh,
lasagna. It's okay.
Well, believe it or not, your people did introduce pasta to the Italians. I don't know if you knew
Oh
that.
shit! Really?
Yeah, the Italians didn't have whatever they were called back then. It wasn't Italy, it wasn't a unified country, but yeah, they got it from the Chinese. They got it from the Chinese.
That's wild.
Yeah, no, but this is my passion in life, man, to do content, man. I wish I would have got into radio 25 years ago when I was in high school. I would have literally dropped out of high school and done radio, knowing what I know now. I'd have dropped out. I say fuck high school, fuck college. Yeah. Why'd you ask? Are you interested in doing something, or are you interested?
Nah. You know, like
Yeah.
you know, like I don't know. I just find it interesting. That's why I pop on. You know.
Yeah. So you say that you are half Jewish.
No, I'm not Jewish.
Oh, you're just half white. Okay, you're half white. Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
He's actually Coptic, believe it or not.
That's what he
You're a
says.
Coptic
That's what he
Christian.
says.
No shit.
Something
I
like
think the
that.
Coptic Christians were founded by the Ethiopian church, if I'm not mistaken. So let me ask you this: why are you
No,
fascinated
other way.
with Jacob's material? Are you fascinated? So you're fascinated with Judaism as well?
Yeah, something like that.
And why is that? Why is that? Go ahead, buddy.
Because it's like, you know, like change the world. You know.
Oh yeah. Oh okay.
Yeah,
Are you
like,
in college?
you know,
or you
just-
look pretty?
just-
You look pretty young. Are you in college? You're in college?
Nah. I'm real stupid. I'm a college dropout.
No kidding. Okay. What was your major in college when you were there?
I was a chemical engineer.
I kind of figured it was something in the STEMs, man.
CT, I have to introduce you to Rabbi Chazi Spiro here.
Okay.
He refuses to be called a rabbi, but he is. He has spent many years studying Judaism and Talmud, and he lives near Jerusalem.
No
and
shit.
he is a very good friend of mine, despite being what I call a rabid Zionist. And really smart guy.
Real quick before and Chezzy, salute to you, man. You were astonished the way I interpret it when I told you that I don't really get involved with Jewish affairs. You were astonished by that. You kind of.
I wouldn't say astonished. I would say. I mean, ultimately, Judaism, like.
Well, here go. I'll tell you this real quick. So I lived in a Jewish. Where I grew up at, it was a lot of it's many Jewish communities, and I grew up next door. The Jews to me were just very peaceful people. They were, but they're still there. They're just very peaceful, positive people. They don't bother anybody. They do a lot of walking. They do a lot of. They don't. Yeah, they do a lot of. The women can't drive for shit, but they do a lot of walking. And to me, they were just on a periphery of me, And don't get me wrong, I've worked with many Jewish people before.
Did you grow up in New York?
No, Northeast Ohio. So, we have a large Jewish population here. And so the reason why I never got into reading the Talmud and obsessing over Jews is because none of my goddamn business. So that's one of the reasons. Because, like a lot of people online now, they read the Talmud and they have all these goddamn conspiracy theories and now they are experts on it and they're not even Jews.
They don't
It's just
actually
weird.
read
So
the
to me, it's
Talmud.
like it goes down like a rabbit hole when you're not really intelligent. Then you're really a conspiracy theorist. So I kind of stay away from things that don't concern me. Like it, for example, right? I'm in a fraternity, right? I'm in the oldest black fraternity on the planet, and we have a history book. Now it's available to the public. You go to the library and get it. But it'd be absurd for me if somebody would come to me and oh, I read your book and here it says this and I know more about your book. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm actually in the fucking organization. So the thing is, man, that's why like I never really I don't think I've ever even held the Talmud in my hand. I don't think I've ever
okay. First, it sounds like you have intellectual humility, which makes you a much wiser man than the vast majority of people who are out there.
I know that I know nothing.
They know nothing.
Yeah.
Yes. Second, the Talmud is in 60 volumes, and so you're not gonna hold it in your hand. And most of the people who are quoting like those quotes that go around from the Talmud, they're not real quotes from the Talmud.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to look up the Talmud, there are actually 2 Talmuds, not one, but both Talmuds are available in English translation for free on the internet. And I guarantee you, if you start reading it, you will find it to be very heavy and boring reading mostly, right? So yeah, but when it comes down to it, I do think that the Jewish people were chosen for a specific mission in the world to be a light onto the nations, and I do believe that there's a reason why the entire world spends so much time focusing on the Jews, which has a real thing to do with prophecy in the history of the world. Like, yeah, there is that too. Yeah. This may be the first time I've seen Kezi's kids on stream.
So Kezi, you say that you live next to Jerusalem, yes?
First off, I hope all is well, and
thank you, sir.
It's nice to meet you, sir.
You as well. Go ahead, buddy.
Secondly, yes, I lived most of my life in Jerusalem, and last year I moved out to the Ella Valley where David fought Goliath, and that's where I'm living now, in a suburb. No light pollution, running around the hills with my boys. Fantastic. And I was fortunate enough to have multiple missiles fall near me.
So the war is it is actually real. It's not propaganda.
Oh, right. I mean, I'm speaking to you inside a bomb shelter right now.
Really? Okay.
Yes, indeed. But I remain optimistic.
That's his shelter room in his house. That's why it's so bare. Yeah.
No kidding. So you are a rabid Zionist, according to Jacob. Why are you a rabid? It's because you like secularism. You like seeing hot chicks walking around half naked in Lamborghinis, or
No.
I'm a secularist. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I definitely don't like seeing that. I mean, I guess like the lizard brain in me enjoys that, but no. Jacob, who I love very much, and this is his channel. We should be very thankful for him allowing us to participate over here. He sees me as a rabid Zionist because I do believe that the state of Israel, as in the secular state of Israel, which it is a secular state, I believe that too is part of God's plan, and I believe that it is just one stage into manifesting, and it's what it's supposed to be eventually. Currently, there are a lot of issues with the state, but I believe that our job as Orthodox Jews is to participate in the miracle of the development and the establishment of the state of Israel, and to allow it to slowly mature into a country, a moral country, one that is guided by its Jewish values and ultimately turn into a beacon of light where we could participate and help the nations of the world around us, whether it's with smart tech, green tech, whatever it's going to be on that level. And then also just with regards to our understanding of morality, our understanding of the transcendent, and together with our Muslim brothers and sisters and Christian brothers and sisters, sanctify God's name in the world.
So you do consider Muslims overall as your brethren. Okay, that's pretty interesting.
Of course.
Really? Okay.
I mean, it's Ishmael in the Bible. I mean, you could say that Arabs are not directly connected to Ishmael, historically speaking, but definitely with regards to the archetype and the story that they're connected to. So I think we have a very big, I mean, that's part of the rub in Israel, because you have 2 million of our citizens are Arab. And I feel like that is probably one of the last missions we really have, is to try to figure out that intense relationship. We quote unquote occupied a people. On the other hand, those people symbolize our historical cousins, and I think it's
you're talking about the Palestinians. You're talking about the Palestinians.
Yeah, I think it's Israel's job to assist them and really take responsibility for them, and that's a very, very difficult conversation to have.
Why are so many people jealous of the Jews, Cassie?
Well, that's a big one. I also look at anti-Semitism not as like a bug, but really a feature of the system. And I think even now you could see it more intensely. Why do I think people are so obsessed with the Jews? There's many historical and sociological reasons we have to take into consideration over here. For example, like Jews being the middleman and being allowed to deal with money, and that led to many, many different things. However, ultimately speaking, I think that until the world sort of looks at the Jews, I'm going to use a controversial idea over here, but either you could be Jesus or you could be Judas. There's nothing in between.
Yeah.
And until when the world sees this nation of people that don't really assimilate and really keep to their own and do their own thing over 2,000 years, it bothers people. And it's either we should become that real light among the nations and be fantastic, or we should just disappear, because it's just too much attention, too much tension, too much chaos. Now, again, I look at that as part of as being a feature. I also think it's a huge responsibility that Jews have, and specifically since 1948, the state of Israel has, is to be awesome. And any second you're not being awesome, you are failing.
Before Ben gets in, what do you think about Kahana Jews?
Bad news bears.
Really? Okay. Why is that?
Just there's a lot of racism over there, a lot of misunderstanding with what our text taught. And by misunderstanding, I say that not because I'm deciding to give you some sort of progressive view of interpreting some text. Rather, there is a plethora of Jewish thought that does not need to lead someone down the path that the Kahanists took. That was very, very problematic, very bad language, very bad theology.
Can you guys explain what that term means? I don't know.
Kahana was I'm sorry. I mean, you go ahead.
Go ahead, CT.
Well, to my knowledge, Kahana was a more, I don't want to say radical, but he was a
terrorist.
I don't want to say it. But
is the last name of a person?
He was a very famous Jewish man in the 70s and 80s, right? He was a I don't know if he held any government position, but
he did.
Oh, he did. Oh, okay. So he basically was a Jew that believed in obviously a Jewish state, and he really believed in, if I'm not mistaken, K-wording your enemies at all costs.
Basically.
No, Jacob, be fair. Not at all costs. There's different stages to Kahana's life. Definitely, I would say it became even more problematic with his followers. And there's a lot of issues with him sort of not coming out or denying or calling out such behavior. But yeah, I mean, ultimately his party was considered a terrorist party and was illegal, and you couldn't, it was kicked out of the Knesset, the Israeli parliament, and there's no longer a legal party. There's been offshoots of that, but they have been the numbers are very, very minuscule.
Unfortunately, his influence
You're right.
is growing among certain people I'm not a fan of.
I'll reiterate in saying that one of his students, so to speak, is now in government. He also grew up being more radical, has changed his ways, but it could be just like, a political game he's doing. And he is someone that during the last war also caused a lot of problem because a lot of the terminology he uses also is very, very racist.
Yeah.
He gets
He's
called
like
out by
Gavir.
most people.
He's like Ben Gavir.
Ben Gvir, exactly. Him specifically.
Very unfortunate.
Extremely unfortunate.
I think Ben Gavir embodies the actual logic of Zionism.
So who's
Again, you have to-
Gavir and who's his son?
When you say Zionism, we have to. Are you talking about the political movement? Are you talking about how the political movement started? Are you talking about what the political movement is today? This is also.
Yeah, I know there are various. I think what it's evolved into.
Give me 1 second. Tarus, what's up? Salute. If you judge a culture based on their food, that would mean that the Mexican culture is the greatest culture that ever lived. I mean, existed in history. Their cuisine is the best, to be honest with you. So that's just my opinion. Tarus, go ahead, guys. Go ahead.
Middle Eastern. I love Middle Eastern.
Yeah, I do love Middle Eastern food. I'm not gonna lie to you, I like that too.
I would say a certain strain of Zionism that's ultra nationalist and racist, which has become the mainstream. If you look at polls of the Israeli population,
No.
Not even close to mainstream. Not even.
I would say, Ben, and
you can look at the stats when people are surveyed. They will say like that the actions in Gaza were too soft.
Right.
Overwhelming
So
majorities will say
that is okay.
We need to break this down, though. It is correct that in Israel there used to be, let's say, which is different than, let's say, the left and right divide that you have in the States. But in Israel, there was a left and right divide, with the left, generally speaking, being pro-peace or pro-two-state solution, even though it's the governments of the right who have given up land and many times for peace, even though that's been a left running point with regards to the elections. Having said that, since October 7th, no one in Israel, while people might be more, let's say, left economically speaking, there's almost no left anymore with regards to a peace deal in the next foreseeable future. I'm saying that October 7th was extremely traumatic for everyone. So that's why there is a very hawkish attitude right now with regards to the war. When people say people should have gone, people were too soft, it's not based by the level of, let's say, we wanted more death, but it's based on the level of we wanted more certainty with regards to it's 2 years in and Hamas is not fully destroyed, or why wasn't more pressure on Egypt or other countries to, for example, open up the Rafah border and push Palestinians out. Now we could argue about what that means with regards to transfer, things like that, but it being too soft is not meaning we wanted more death. It's we wanted it to be more clear. We wanted to have less. Bibi, for example, got a lot of pressure internally from waiting so long on the attack of Rafah, even though he was being pressured by Biden at the time. So everyone felt like he should be capitulating to Biden. He should be going in, which in reality, obviously that's what he should have done, because we see that's how ultimately that allowed for Israel to progress in that way. But no, I don't think people want any more death. And still today, anyone I talk to, like in my circles, which is a quite diverse circle, that's people want peace. Ultimately, that's what people want.
But that's what every psychotic authoritarian regime will say.
Well, we
Right.
try. Many
Everyone says we're doing this for peace, but
you're right.
there's no
We've just
regime
done
that's
it.
going to say we like killing people.
Yes, but some
What they
people
will
are telling
say-
the truth and some people are lying. And being
And
able
Ben-
to discern the difference between truths and lies is an important skill an adult needs to have.
So
I would
does the government of Israel have a whole department that engages in propaganda openly?
It's not called propaganda. It's called Hasbara.
Chezi,
yeah,
stop. Chezi, you're engaging with
I want to just
trollish.
one second.
He's
I'm going to
asking.
be-
He's trolling you,
I
and
know,
you're
Jake.
letting him troll you.
How's that trolling to ask a basic question?
Well, just,
I thought Dan was just asking a basic question.
Jacob,
to be honest
we'll
with you,
just
but-
answer that the minister of Hasbara or propaganda actually quit October 8th. Israel doesn't have a minister of Hasbara anymore. Her name was Galit Istal, which was horrible that they really.
Translating Hasbara as propaganda is already.
I know, but I know what Ben means. So
Yeah, exactly. So you're letting him troll you.
Well, what would you translate it as?
Hasbara literally means explanation. That's what it means to explain things.
Well, let me ask you a question. If Netanyahu is dead right now, would the Israeli government say that he was dead?
Yeah,
of course.
And
you'd see people dancing on the streets if he was dead right now.
You would.
Wait a minute, you will see.
I don't believe that.
You will see who dancing on the street.
Israelis.
Israelis.
Yeah, about 30% of Israel would be so happy if
Correct.
Netanyahu was dead.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I thought his approval rating was damn near 100%.
No, not even close.
No.
When Wyckoff went and spoke in Tel Aviv, he thanked Trump. Everybody was clapping. He thanked Bibi. Everybody started booing.
Really?
Yeah, there's a video of it. It was hilarious.
Is by far the most talented
and controversial
politician in Israel. That's a big problem for the left, which is they can never find someone who is going to replace him. And he's been voted in. I mean, Israel since 2019, it's been like 5 election cycles. And this is a big fight currently for the next election cycle because there's this idea called just not Bibi, which is like, we're never going to go with anyone that wants Bibi. And this constantly pushes Bibi to go into more and more extreme coalitions because Bibi wants to be the prime minister. And whoever he needs to put together. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, Cassie, I'm sorry to cut you off. Gimpy, a fellow brethren of yours with the $10 super chat. The anti-Semite doesn't accuse the Jew of stealing because he thinks he stole. They do it to watch the Yid turn his pockets out. You failed on the simple task of feeding our enemies. Guys, you want to broach this comment?
I love Chezi, but oftentimes when Chezi has had to deal with the likes of Ben, Chezi is too pure and good for this world. He doesn't know how to deal with people who simply accuse him of stealing in order to watch him turn his pockets out. And I
what do you mean the likes of Ben?
Chezi.
You mean the goy?
No, I mean you.
I speak for the goy. I'm asking basic questions.
No, you actually don't.
Yeah, I do.
You speak for nobody but yourself.
Jacob,
I'm speaking from where a lot of people are coming from.
With love.
And if you think that we think that you're not a bunch of liars,
speak
you're out of
for
your mind.
yourself. Speak
You're out of your mind.
Jacob, 1 second. Ben,
there are 3 Gentiles on this panel. You're only one of them.
We had this conversation last time, Ben. I told you, it's always these conversations can't go
If you don't want to
anywhere.
pay attention to what the
One
goy
second.
thinks,
Ben,
then you're
1 second.
welcome to suffer the consequences.
Ben, first off,
now you're threatening us?
I hope.
No, I'm not.
Jacob,
threatening you.
don't.
I'm saying history has a way of repeating itself.
Now you're threatening.
Don't you agree? Don't you agree?
Now that does sound like
that is a threat.
Not that he would do it, but I see what.
He who does not learn from history will repeat it.
1 second.
Is
Ben.
that anti-Semitic?
Hold on, let Kessie get in real quick. Go
Is
ahead,
that
Kessie.
anti-Semitic? Crucify me if that's anti-Semitic.
Ben.
Crucify you?
Jacob.
You wish.
Crucify me.
You wish.
That's
Jacob.
anti-Semitic. If
You
we don't
wish.
learn the lessons from history, we are fated to repeat them. If you want to crucify me like you did our Lord, then go for it.
Okay.
I wasn't there. I wasn't there, Ben. I wasn't there.
Okay.
I'm
now,
not 2,000 years old.
Jacob,
I wasn't
Jacob.
there.
1 second. Ben, how's your daughter doing? Is she okay? Yes.
Ben,
Doing well. How's your mother doing? Had she recovered?
Thank God my mother and father are all doing well. Now, the reason I said for two things. One is a goy. Goy just means nation. Goy is all good. We have
It
no
means
problem.
dog. We know what it means, okay?
No, it
doesn't.
We know what it means, okay? You
So
can
now,
that's
so
fine.
now, Ben,
I'm a
how-
dog. Okay,
Ben,
go ahead.
how can we have a good faith conversation if the assumption is that I'm just lying?
That's a you problem.
Why are you doing that?
I don't speak to Jews.
Why are you hanging out with liars?
Zionism has lied from its very origins.
I know, but why are you hanging out with liars? Don't waste your time. We're liars.
I think it's important to expose lies.
So you did it. You were both liars. You did it. You won. You did it. You got it. How else can we help you? I mean, anything I'm going to say is going to be.
Are you running the show here? Oh, okay. Well, that's typical.
No, you're right.
You're now
You don't
running
have
the
to
show
go.
here. You took over the
You
meeting.
don't have to go. You could stay.
Khezi, let CT handle this guy.
whoever is secular or who is this person? Secular.
Oh
Quranic.
my God!
You have to get on.
Claire
You have to
Kaw?
hold on. Hold on. You have to get on camera, man. I'm not doing that off camera stuff.
That's Claire Kaw. Secular
Does he get on? Does he get on
Claire Kaw.
camera?
Claire Kaw sometimes does, but you need to look up Claire Kaw before you let her on.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ben. Go ahead, buddy. Just try to finish your thought, Ben. Well, just finish your thought. Yeah, go ahead, Ben.
Well, I'm just saying, if you have a department of Hasbara, which is effectively a department of propaganda, then you're engaging in basically lying. And I do think that, like, whether you like it or not, nobody believes that the Israelis tell the truth because they never have. Jewish people can be
You're on
very
mute, Jacob. Jacob, you're on mute, buddy.
Nobody believes the Jews ever tell the truth. Nobody.
Look,
not the
gentlemen,
Jews. I meant the state of Israel. The propaganda wing of the state of Israel never tells the truth.
can you give me a sec, Ben? Because I got to get back to work, man. You two gentlemen are failing at the easiest test that we face every day, right? You understand by even having a conversation and who is automatically here in bad faith. He's making it clear he's here in bad faith. You want to sit here and fuel his fire? Go ahead, gentlemen. But understand, you learn
Ignore
this.
the goy at your own peril. Ignore the
We're
goy
not
at your own
ignoring the
peril.
goy. We're ignoring the gooner. We're ignoring the person who only acts in bad faith. You want to act in good faith? We'll
Huddle
have a
the wagon.
conversation with
Huddle
you.
the
You
wagon.
don't want
Go
to
ahead.
act
Huddle
in
the
good
wagon.
faith.
Go ahead.
So
Huddle the
back
wagon.
to you two. By engaging
Hey.
with this imbecile, you only see the arguments that they make because they take everything you're going to say and use it as some sort of leverage against you. That you haven't learned that after 2,000 years means you weren't paying attention in yeshiva. Either of you, since both of you went for any period of time.
Huddle up and
Learn
get
the
back in the ghetto.
lesson
That's fine. Get
and
back in the ghetto. That's fine.
stop engaging with bad faith
no problem with
actors.
that.
You want to have a good faith argument, Spiro. You have a famous last name. Be careful walking around the internet with it. Dude, seriously, my friend. Every day I come up here, I deal with these lunatics. I am telling you, they are not good faith actors. Stop thinking they're good faith actors. None of them want to have a conversation with you. Not one. They all want to tell you what they know about us.
I've had
And that's
conversations
it.
with both of these guys in the past.
I'm sure you have in bad faith every single time, Ben. I have seen your conversation.
They never had it. They never said anything. About
Because, dude,
Okay, now you're not
I have been
remembering.
watching this
the
conversation alone proves that you're full of shit on that, Ben.
Yeah.
You are totally a bad faith actor. You only want
I'll
to
keep
make
it real, but if
when
you
he
wanna
tells-
play
when
like-
he-
if you
how
wanna
do you
play
know-
like-
well, let me ask you something. Let's
Why
start with
can't
one
we be
simple thing.
honest?
All three Jews here will tell you that the word goy means nation. That's it. But you keep saying it means dog. So where is your definitive proof that all three of us are wrong? Let's start with that. What, something you read? Because I speak
I may
Yiddish.
be wrong.
You are wrong. And you're
Ben, that is a
perpetuating
good
an
question.
anti-Semitic libel against our people that is used continuously to make us look fucking bad. But you don't care. You
I'll
just
look it
throw
up.
it around
No, I
because
do
you
care.
want
I'll
to make
look it
Jews look bad. So shut the fuck up, Ben. You're not entitled to talk to
Gimpy's
any of us.
angry. I give
Hold on
a
for a second.
fuck.
Hold on for a second. Ben, other than TikTok, and I'm not trying to downplay your intellectualism.
Is Goy Hebrew or is it?
But hold on,
Yeah.
Ben, where did you hear this from? That Goy meant dog. Where'd you hear it from other than TikTok?
I don't know exactly.
I
I thought that was
but yet
literally. Is it Yiddish or
you
Hebrew?
told the Jew that he's lying. You are a bad faith actor. Don't talk to me. Back to you two. Stop talking to
You happy
bad
to
faith
correct that?
actors. Learn your fucking lessons. Every one of you have Rabbeim. Before you come back up and have a conversation, go talk to them.
Go.
Talk to them about what you engage in here and see what the fuck they say. Because both of you are ill-equipped. You're sitting up here quoting Rambam to them like they have context of Daniel and Nevi'im and Ketuvim so that they can make sense of what you're reading them. And the other one, you're trying to have Hasbara with a guy who's literally looking to point a loaded gun at your head. What is
Okay,
on earth
well,
wrong with the both
what?
of you?
I don't have any weapons.
No. You're the one who
No, figuratively, in the figurative sense. Sorry,
No.
I meant it like
you're the one who
You
has
said literally.
the
No, sorry.
JDL.
Sorry.
JDL.
yes,
what you
because
call it?
I am making a statement to your counter statement.
Yeah, you're making a statement that you support terrorism.
No, I'm making a statement. I support that Jews belong in Israel permanently.
Hi,
Can I-
That's what I'm
Yoav.
making the statement for.
I did look it up. Can I clarify the Goy thing? Okay, so in Hebrew, I admit that the word means
Nation.
nation or people. You're 100% correct, and I'm
Oh, okay.
sorry for saying otherwise. However, it is used pejoratively, depending on tone, can be used dismissively or contemptuously in both Yiddish and English,
It
and I
can.
think you guys should recognize that.
It can.
Dude, any word could be used
like the term
pejoratively
infidel,
if that's
like the
how
term
you're going to use
infidel
it. But that
in
you
Islam.
said the meaning. You purposefully
okay,
said he was a liar because of the meaning.
I will even give you like the reason this misconception came about. A common but incorrect etymological claim suggests Goy is related to the word for cattle. This is an unfounded linguistic myth.
Right,
Hebrew
but
Goy
you
is a
called the
Semitic
Jew a
word.
liar with no, dude, you're
cattle
just backtracking
and
on your
four
awful
founding terms
behavior.
of
There's no
language.
forgiveness here for that, dude.
Well, I
Stop.
can't read the
That's
definition.
the whole
Okay.
thing. You called him a liar
Well,
with
right,
no
let's
knowledge,
deplatform
perpetuating
let's
fallacy.
deplatform the European. Yep. Okay.
No,
Sure.
we're not deplatforming you. I'm
Why
telling
don't
you
you
that
let
you're
me-
not going to get
why don't
forgiveness
you
by
let me
walking it
read?
back.
Why don't you
You're just
let
trying to walk it
a
back.
white man
Dude, you are
read?
just trying to walk it back. You made an egregious claim thinking that you had some authority
Not
with no
egregious.
true knowledge, with no ever looking it up for yourself. You called him a liar. You said, we all know I represent the Goy. You're sitting there making bad
I'm not
faith
doing Hasbara.
statements.
I'm saying I was wrong, but
You
here's
are making
where they came
bad
from.
faith
I don't do
statements,
Hasbara.
and
I
then
tell
you
the
want
truth.
forgiveness because you all got
You want
called
to
out and
deplatform
caught.
the white man? Do so
You
at your own
got
peril.
called out and
Do so at
caught,
your own
sir.
peril.
And this is why you can't talk to them, because unless you can manhandle them, they will continue to lie to you, sirs.
You can huddle up and go back to the ghetto if you want to. I have no problem with that. If you want to interact with the world,
Buddy,
you want to ask me
I
to send
interact
my
with the
four
world all the
sons-
time.
My 4 sons to die
Very
in the
good.
Middle
Don't
East.
send your
You
four
better make a
sons.
good argument.
We don't want your 4 sons. Trust me. We don't even want you, Thorpe. If the world could be rid of Thorpe,
I'm
we would be
speaking
a better
to Zionists,
place.
not to Jews. I don't know if you're a Zionist.
Mm-hmm. Dude, the symbol
Zionists
tells
want
you I'm a
my
Zionist.
4 European sons to die in the Middle
Uh-huh.
East.
You
They
keep
better make
telling
a hell
yourself
of an
that, dude.
argument
You keep
for it.
telling yourself that. Anyhow, gentlemen, I got to get back to work. You enjoy wasting your time with this clown.
Thank you so much.
By
Ben.
your own analysis, you just wasted your time.
Ben, do you have proof of this? Do you have proof that the state of Israel wants your 4 sons to fight their war? That I don't even know if it's even a war even being declared. Actually, at this
I don't
point.
think that there's anyone's under any misconception that the state of Israel is 100% backed by their alliance with the United States of America.
Not
Just
100%.
like, well, they have no
Well,
real
but that,
power
but again,
without
Ben,
the
that would be
backing of the
connected
United
to the
States.
proof. But that would be
Just
connected
like
to the
under the
proof.
mandate in
Yeah.
Palestine, they used the English, then turned on them and utterly betrayed that alliance, which they will
You did
do
it.
to us.
You
Well, Ben,
got
let me
it.
ask you a question real quick. What's wrong with
treason.
alliances? I mean, do you have a problem with NATO? I mean, what's wrong with any alliance? I mean, what's wrong with?
Alliances are no problem, but if there's no benefit and only, why would you make an alliance? What's the
Sure,
benefit of
America is a
our
benefit.
alliance with Israel? There's no benefit.
Values sharing, the bird program that brought in billions of dollars to America, all the amount of information we give America with regards to their terror cells around the world. That kind of help.
Yeah, Americans generally don't buy the argument.
You could just say no, or you could admit, oh, wait, there's a program Israel does together with America that brings into America billions. They saved many American lives with the information that shares with them. That is the deal they're doing.
I don't believe there's any
so that we're back to our point. Then even if I showed you a document right now, you'd be like, you're a Zionist, Chazi. How do I even know if I could trust you? So all I can tell you is like this. Think about it this way, Ben. Jacob and I both, and Yoav over here, Yoav, I hope you're doing well and I hope the family's doing well. We all participate with groups of an interfaith dialogue and specifically with non-Jews. And we have beautiful, loving relationships with them. And that's what we do online. By the way, I didn't even know this wasn't Jacob's channel. That is most of our discussions. Of course, it gets into political conversations as well, philosophical conversations, but the conversation is ultimately how people who believe in the divine want to be able to see clearly and come together, because we all know that all of us need each other to build this beautiful tapestry. That's the conversation. And we engage with Gentiles constantly. And me as a Jew, right? I don't want everyone to become Jewish. That I want Christians to go to church, and I want Muslims to go to mosque, and I want them to keep on praying, and that's all fantastic. So considering the fact that three of us do that and engage in that way, I think it would be a mistake to look at us then as people that are have some sort of hidden agenda that we're trying to sell. It is true that between Jacob and I, there are disagreements with regards to Zionism, but there's not really.
I'm not speaking about your YouTube channel. I was speaking about Zionism. If you want to see what it's like to be an ally with the Zionists, look no further than the British. They allied themselves with the Zionists.
They did.
Zionists turned on them, and they literally hung British soldiers by the neck as their thank you for helping them to establish a Jewish homeland. Is that not true, guys?
No, it's not true.
No.
All right. So there's an historical fact. Now, I want you to look that up. Were there British soldiers that were hung up by the neck publicly by Zionist militias?
And what? And let's say that's true. And
well, so you just said no, it's not true. That's important, right?
Let's say it is true. And
a second, Chazi.
It doesn't sound like an alliance to me.
Chazi.
But those are militant groups.
It's true. We were fighting the British. The British were hanging our people, so we hanged them back as retaliation. Because we're fighting the British, we were always fighting the British to gain our independence.
Well, but you made the British do the Balfour Declaration, right? Through the Rothschilds.
No, actually,
right?
the Balfour Declaration was not made. Like your false history is.
Did the Balfour Declaration exist, guys?
Yes, the Balfour Declaration existed, and anybody who wants to can look it up and look up British history and look up Israeli history. History exists, Ben, despite your attempts.
You guys just denied history. Not Yoav, but the other two of you.
Does not exist.
You lied. You lied. You said no when I said British soldiers were hung by the neck.
I said no when you said that there was an alliance between the British
when I was wrong,
and the Zionists.
So when that happened, admit you were wrong about that.
Did I not?
I admit you were wrong.
Did I not just say an even?
I admit you were wrong, Ben. I admit you were wrong.
Why won't you admit that you were wrong? You both.
I admit you were wrong, Ben.
Ben, don't you have better things?
This will not end well. This will not end well.
You're right.
Yeah, you're right. It will not end well.
You're right. You won. You're bad. You did it. You got it.
Well, I mean, if we go back 100 years in history, I don't know that it was my people that suffered.
You're right. You are right. We are bad. You did it. Mission.
You won't say it. This is Hasbara. Say it. You were factually wrong. I admitted I was factually wrong. Why won't you admit you're factually wrong?
Right. You are right. Everything you're saying is right.
Chazi, Every
Why
single
won't you just admit
person,
you were wrong about a
I
fact?
admit you were wrong. Every single group that has ever persecuted the Jews has ended up being sorry for it, and will happen again and again until the Messiah comes.
You want to threaten the European people? Go ahead.
No one threatened.
No, I want. This is a
Be my
promise
fucking
from the
guest.
Bible. This is a
Let's
promise
go.
from the Bible. Those who persecute the Jewish people will suffer for it.
They are often the non-Jewish people are often an instrument for God's wrath upon his unfaithful, stone-hearted people who refuse to
That's
recognize the truth like you two just refused. Stubborn-hearted people. That comes from the Hebrew scriptures, right? Hearts of stone.
Stiff-necked.
You will not admit a simple fact. When you saw the white man, you saw the Catholic man.
The white
Admit,
man?
I was wrong. Yes.
What is the color of Chezi?
Is Chezi white? I am as Aryan. I am more Aryan than anyone on this panel. I come from Iran. I come from the actual Caucasus. I am about as Caucasian gets.
CT, if you have any more questions, I'll be glad to answer. But I don't like I said, Ben beat us. He's correct.
Hello. Can I just go to a point about the Goy things? We are conducting a Bible study every Thursday, and Ben sometimes participates in this Bible study. And we have studied the appearance of the word Goy in the Bible, and we have seen that it refers to a nation. And specifically, there is a distinction between two types of nation. There is a nation with a king and a flag that is called one name, and a nation that is not politically not living under a certain king and a flag, which is called a Goy. And one can say that the Goy is perhaps a tribe or a coalition of tribes. And I think it's in the Bible. The meaning of Goy is in the Bible.
Yes.
So, yes, I think that Chezi made an historical mistake. I think he forgot about the hanging of there was also a flagellation of British
Bombing of a
officers.
hotel as well, right?
Yoav, the reason I said no to
British
his question was that the Zionists and the British were not allied when
Yes.
these things happened.
I'm talking about a specific historical truth that Chezi stumbled upon. I mean, he made a tiny mistake about a detail of the struggle against the British. It was a bitter struggle, and we drove them out. And it's the one thing we ever done together with the Arabs. The Arabs did also their best to drive the British out. Together we drove them out. Each one of us of its own ambitions. And some of my relatives were shot by the British and got badly injured at one occasion. And yes, the British believed in divide and rule, and they really liked playing a double game. Good for them.
That is true. Yep. We could all watch Lawrence of Arabia to see how the British,
Yes.
right? The British taught, in many ways, the Zionists the art of colonialization.
They taught us a lot of things.
Brutality,
The
lying,
British-
playing
the
both
British-
sides. Sure.
Can I talk?
Sorry.
The British taught us the art of fighting at night, conducting raids at night. We are forever thankful for that British officer and we remember his name, and we erected institutes on his name.
By the way, CT, Yoav is another friend of mine. He lives in Tel Aviv. I jokingly refer to him as the chief rabbi of North Tel Aviv.
Yeah, I'm here to have the full deck of cards. You have a religious Zionist, a religious non-Zionist, and now you have a non-religious Zionist.
Whoever Cool Kid is in the back, you got to put yourself in the frame of the camera. Jacob, why, since you are in America, somebody stubs their toe this morning. Bow! They stub their toe. They blame the Jews.
Yeah.
Jacob, in America in the 50s, if I'm not mistaken, one of the staple foods were a burger and fries. Now it's called Jewish slop food. Why? Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, Kezi, but in America now,
goy slop. They call it goy slop.
Goy slop, right? Meaning that the Jews don't eat it; they just give it to the goy.
I love hamburgers. I don't know.
I love hamburgers, but why is everything from your perspective being blamed on Jews now? Even though the burger was created, the burger and fry, that was created by whites.
If you are a religious Jew, as I am, then you believe that we were indeed chosen by God for a certain thing. And what we were chosen by God for was not because we get to go to heaven or we get to rule over other people or we get to kill and murder or whatever. We were chosen because of what Isaiah 53 says.
Yeah.
Right? We were chosen to be the ones that people who hate God hate, and the people who love God love. And if you can see that throughout human history, the people who hate the Jews are the enemies of God, and the people who love the Jews, not individual because we're such great people, but who recognize, for example, someone who will deny that Jesus and Mary were Jewish, which a lot of people do, right? They're turning their backs on Christianity, not Judaism. And you see that. You've seen that throughout history. And the types of Catholics that Ben likes to champion, right? They're the types of people who turn their backs on Christianity, not just the God of the Jews, but the God of the Gentiles.
Who do I like to champion?
What?
E. Michael Jones types.
No, I argued against E. Michael Jones, and I had subsequently several streams where I called him out as totally crazy.
Okay.
Gibby says, no, we were chosen from the cabal. So
you're wrong. You were wrong to say that.
Kibul ol malchut shamayim. It means to accept upon ourselves the yoke of heaven. Yes.
So were you wrong to say that, what you said about me?
What?
You said I champion people. You could have named any
you
person.
Champion E. Michael Jones.
You named a name of a person that I specifically called out
as
being crazy and argued against.
Yeah, he's part of your whole crew. Most people have never heard of E. Michael Jones or Ben Thorpe. In fact, I'm guessing more people have heard of Ben Thorpe than E. Michael Jones.
I don't co-sign E. Michael Jones at all.
Does this sound to you like in any way a productive or generative conversation?
Yeah, I think
where do you
when people lie and they feel comfortable doing that, they should be called out.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Next.
Jacob, there are a lot of anti-Semites that call into this channel. This is an open channel for everybody, and I allow all types of people. There's a guy who said that the Jews, wherever they go, they take over the land, and obviously,
until recently, Jews weren't allowed to own land.
But obviously, me being a black person, right? And sometimes I step outside of the host mode, and I ask the guy. I said, well, what about when the whites went into Africa and they took over the land there and created regions and artificial states, and they took resources that didn't belong to them? Oh, well, that was just colonialism. That was perfectly fine because the African wasn't doing anything with the land anyway. So it's ironic that these same anti-Semites, they will complain about Jews taking every opportunity that they can.
So-
Let's assume the Jews go everywhere and they do take over. I mean, let's assume they do, because obviously, let's be honest about it. Your average Jewish person probably has a higher IQ than most people, and so they figure out law and they figure out how the land works and they take it over. However, they take it over, which they just take the opportunity. But I'm starting to notice something here. You can justify, in the case of colonialism of Africa and India and many brown nations, as whites, but then when the Jews do it to you, then it's this big conspiracy now, and it's wrong. I think it's a fair for all if the Jews are doing this. Go ahead. Jay.
I like to distinguish between two different things: anti-Semitism and anti-Judaism.
Sure.
And you can call anti-Semitism whatever you want, but let's use that term. If you prefer, just use Jew hate, right?
Sure.
There's a difference between anti-Judaism and Jew hate, right? So anti-Judaism is, I'm not Jewish, I don't believe in Judaism, I don't like Judaism, right? And there are things that Judaism believes in, like monotheism. If you don't like monotheism, you may not like Judaism, and that's a perfectly rational, and because yes, we as Jews believe in monotheism. You don't believe in monotheism, you cannot like Judaism, right? Then there's Jew hate, right? And Jew hate, the way you can tell Jew hate is when it's irrational. That is one of the things that really goes into it, right? The Jews were hated for having a nation, for not having a nation, for being too cliquish, for being too globalist, for being this, for being that, right? When you hate the Jews for everything and the opposite, that's when you have what I would call anti-Semitism as opposed to anti-Judaism. Now, if somebody doesn't believe the things that I believe, right? They don't believe in the 10 Commandments. They don't believe that there is one God who created all of humanity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? Okay, you don't like my religion. You don't belong to my religion. Fine.
Yeah.
Right? That's different from Jew hate.
True.
Real quick, Black Bear says, "What's up, CT?" in the chat. Have a great day. Have a great show. CT, it's a beautiful day outside. It is. I kind of want to end the show right now and go enjoy the day. Go ahead, guys. Go ahead. Who is this Kirk guy? Go ahead, Kirk. Go ahead, Kirk. You're kind of hiding from the camera. Go ahead, buddy. Cool
I
kid.
think they're muted, Kirk.
No, he's not muted. Cool kid. Go ahead. Let's get him out of here. Kessie, go ahead, buddy. Go ahead, buddy.
There's a comment over here about I think I saw it somewhere over here unless it went down, about not being Jewish. We're not Israelites, we are European. I don't know. I'm a Levite. That goes pretty far back. So I feel very non-European. Clearly there's European blood in me, and blue eyes, and so that went down at some point. Yeah, I don't know. I always feel like having a conversation of going back and discussing like the Balfour Declaration or the white papers or what exactly happened and what was ratified and what wasn't ratified and what is considered peace. Like you said about the Talmud, two things. One, if all these anti-Semites out there put in the amount of effort into figuring out what exactly went on with the Jews and put it into their own communities or families, we would be looking at a much more prosperous and healthy society. That's number one. Number two, like you said, the Talmud has a tremendous amount of volumes, and someone mentioning Tractate X or Tractate Y, it's really hard to take those kind of conversations seriously. So,
so your guys' understanding, I forget who it was, maybe Jacob said, of like the Hebrew scriptures is that God blesses you
and
your people
and
curses those who are opposed to you, because that's not how I read.
That's not what I said at all. That's not what I said at all. I said those who hate and persecute the Jewish people will be cursed, and those who love and bless the Jewish people will be blessed. That's what I said.
That's not true. It's mostly a story about God and the Jewish people, in which the Jewish people more often than not fail him and are punished often by neighboring kingdoms.
Yes.
Who are not really punished for what
they are.
So God uses them as an
they actually are punished
for his wrath against his unfaithful people.
No, No,
But if you want to read it a different way, you're welcome to.
please feel free to read the Bible. We have a Bible study. You sometimes come and join, right? And
I do read the Bible.
Feel free to read the Bible.
I just don't read it like in this way. That
you don't read it.
To me, hey Jacob, maybe you could be a little more respectful. But you
no.
All right. Well, go ahead.
Ben, why do you read their scripture? Why do you read the top? Why do you read
my scriptures?
Well,
and when I read the Hebrew scriptures, which were passed on from our ancestors in the faith, who are the natural chosen people. Okay, I read the story is not about the Jewish people being great. It's about God being great and the Jewish people being very human, right? So to say that it's all about an endorsement of the Jewish people, you've got to be out of your mind.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
What does it mean what does it mean if people say, here's my holy scripture, and what it's about is blessed will be those who like me, and cursed will be those who oppose me.
I never said that either.
That's ethnocentrism. That's not the Hebrew scriptures.
I understand you are blinded by your by some sort of something, and can't understand what I'm saying. I pray that you will one day open your heart.
Take your prayer and shove it up your ass. How about that?
Ben. Again, I wonder, since you participate in some of the Bible classes we were in, can't you see that people aren't there trying to mess around? Like, people are taking their Bible seriously and reading it seriously. So if anything, you could say, is that your, like, even if that is our understanding, which you're claiming is wrong, that's also okay. But no one's going willy-nilly about it, right? I spent all my life and then 6 years specifically in a seminary just learning that, whether it's ancient Aramaic and in English and in Hebrew. So when I say those things, there's some level of education around that when I make that claim.
Sure.
Now, you are correct that people have different ideas out there. Now, again, just to specify, while when the Jewish people are quote unquote chosen doesn't mean our DNA is any better. It doesn't mean we're better people. It just means a different level of responsibility. Every nation is chosen for their own way. And even Egypt itself is called in the Bible by God, my people, and Assyria, my handiwork. Everyone is loved by God. They're all his sons. As we're told, when the Egyptians themselves die and the angels are singing, God gets mad at them. Who are you to cheer when my creations are dead? This is what we're taught. We're taught to love all mankind. And it doesn't matter if it could be a Gentile in the middle of nowhere. If he is close to the divine, he is at the same level as the high priest. That is what our text believes. There is something.
Okay, but it would not be a news flash to you that Christians, who were Jews largely, saw that there were many learned people who had been studying and completely missed. Our interpretation is that many of the learned Jews completely missed the Messiah when he came.
Right,
I don't think that's like a news flash to you, right?
About the Messiah, obviously.
That's not a news flash to you, right?
It's not a news flash, and obviously.
So we don't respect learning if it obscures you from seeing the work of God, which I think you would say too.
That is totally okay. I don't need you to become Jewish. However, you are correct that with regards to Jesus, right, the character of Jesus, there's definitely disagreement there. Not things that Jesus has said, which I would claim many of the things he's saying, and even his rebuke of some of the priests and the Pharisees at that time. We ourselves in the Talmud make the same rebuke, right?
Sure.
We rebuke. So the question about his divinity and elements like that, that's a different question. Yeah, sure. We disagree with that.
Right. Okay. So if you say like, well, we study a lot, therefore we're right. Christians would say, well, that's not how it works.
I didn't say we were right. I said to say that just to wing it off as like, that's nonsense, or that's just our opinion, which I'm making out of good faith. And perhaps I'm wrong, whether it's Jesus or the last Mahdi or Mashiach. Who am I to challenge God? So when the day comes, I will greet him with open arms, whoever it is. I just have my tradition and my belief.
Sure, no problem. But what I'm saying is, From what I know, and I'm an outsider, I studied Catholicism, but from what I understand, at the time Zionism emerged, the vast majority of pious Jews saw it as an abomination of the Jewish religion, a politicization, a nationalization of what is a religious faith and should remain a religious faith. So I side with the pious Jews.
Well, first of all, not all pious Jews. Yes, a majority of pious Jews. That is correct. And that is the argument that Jacob and I have, right? Because Jacob, which I think Jacob will admit that the rabbis I follow are legitimate rabbis, even though he disagrees with them. And those rabbis, and like what I keep on telling Jacob, you are correct that secular Zionism, if it ended there, if that's all Israel ends up being, he is correct. That is something that I am against. I believe that it could still evolve into what it's supposed to be, which Jacob eventually, even if this is not it, at some point in history, Jacob wants there to be the state of Israel, right? He doesn't want it to be secular, but he definitely believes.
I want the kingdom of Israel, not the state of Israel.
Hezi, what I would ask you, and I'm just asking this, why would you have a problem? You're in the state of Israel with advocating that everyone from the river to the sea should have equal rights.
They do. The 2 million.
You are living in a delusional world, my friend.
Again, the 2 million.
You're a wise man who is staying quiet, and I'm wondering why. What you think? Because my feeling is you probably have more incisive things to say, certainly than Ben.
Do you really want to know?
Yes.
You don't want to know what black people think about the Jews.
Really? Well,
you think the white man's got some things to say.
Well, I love I am pro Jew, so and that's been known. But
hold on, I have to say something to Ben.
You guys should go into black spaces. CT is moderate, but like the amount of legitimate
I do go into black spaces. I talk to various black men, and they have different thoughts from each other because black men are thinking human beings, Ben.
Yes, and they tend to have certain thoughts. They tend to share certain commonalities.
Well, Ben, let me answer.
It's like Jewish people and European people and Americans.
Let me answer Jacob, Ben.
And you have no idea how much hostility there is towards.
Let me answer Jacob. Jacob, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, man. I think religion should be practiced in the home, privately. I really believe religion is holding our humanity back. And I'm talking about the institutions, right? Christianity, Judaism, Catholicism. I really believe that the institutions are actually holding us back, even though you could argue Catholicism civilized much of the planet. The institutions that they had, they were, big proponents of science. You could argue that some of the greatest scientists come from the Jewish faith, like Richard Feynman, Albert Einstein, et cetera, Niels Bohr, et cetera, et cetera. But the truth of the matter is, man, this is just thousands of years of just nonsensical fighting over imaginary borders. The planet is vastly huge. In my opinion, man, and I'm just gonna be honest with you, man. And if anybody knows, I'm pro-Jew, right? But in my opinion, man, who knows what the hell the Holy Land is? The Holy Land could be Africa, parts of Africa for all we know. The Holy Land could be in goddamn parts of the Amazon. I have no. To me, it's just some shit that people just made up. To me, these texts are shit that just people made up. The only reason why I respect Catholicism and Judaism is because of the institutions themselves, the institutions within them, the codification of laws, the systems, and it seems to be that the Jews, for a small population, have some of the greatest intellects known to me. I mean, my God, I think 50% of Nobel laureates are Jews, right? So it's something special about the Jews, period. But the ever since I've been a kid, man, fighting over fucking what, and it doesn't make any sense to me. And I just really think it's just a 2,000-year-old game of Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Pokemon. battles, like whose Pokemon is the strongest. That's just what I really believe, man. This is just me. I don't espouse this belief on anybody. I don't want people to believe what I believe. I'm just an ape living on a floating rock in infinity. I think the universe is vast, and I think this fighting is just really apes fighting over costumes, man. And that's just what I really wholeheartedly just really believe at its core. Now, again, do I like living around Jews? You're absolutely goddamn right I do. They're peaceful, they're orderly, they're nice. Some of the people who supported my first business ventures were Jews. Do I like the Catholic Church? Of course I do. I love the Gothic architecture. I love the order in it. Yes, I do. But it's just nerve-wracking. But you guys continue on talking. I like listening to it.
No. You brought up much more interesting things than the discussion Ben's trying to suck us in.
Can I make a funny point? As I was talking to you guys, my garbage can lit on fire.
No shit.
I had my daughter come in. So hey, respect if I said something wrong.
No. Jacob and Kezi, you guys are a part of
Maybe
the
you're
96 Bulls. Yes, they are. They are a part of the. Yes, they are.
What
the
are
Bulls
the 96 Bulls?
They are the Bulls of the human race. They are the Chicago Bulls of the human. Kezi, you watch NBA basketball, right? NBA. Yeah. Yes.
Not
the Jews
anymore.
are. Yes.
Chezi's father-in-law was the first Orthodox Jew to be an NBA player.
Drafted to the NBA.
Yeah.
No shit.
What about saying if the Jews, because of their experience, are both the best of humanity and the worst of humanity? Is that fair to say? Is that okay?
I said the world looks at Jews as Jesus or Judas, right?
David Cuffin.
Yeah, right.
There's two extremes over there. I will say like 2 points though. One, to your point, CT, I do agree with you that ultimately, and if the Jews, and as the promise that was made to Abraham, right, the nations of the world will be blessed through you. If that's not happening, then we're clearly not doing our job. And ultimately, we want unity. We want everyone together. We don't want people to be fighting. So, you could say everyone wants that, but that is genuinely what we want. One note, just something that Ben said. Again, Ben, this is attempting to speak from good faith, right? Where I has been living in Israel all my life. I work day in and day out with Palestinians or Arabs, Israeli Arabs, Palestinian Arabs, and I work with them. And the 2 million that live in Israel, yes, have the same rights. There is Arabs in Supreme Court. Now, are there different?
That's factually not true, but they're largely yes.
I know, but when you say that, right? So when it's factually not true, I'm living and working with these people all the time. We drive the same streets. We pay the same taxes. There are some differences. Okay, well, I'm not going to get into the specific ones right now. Now, that's different than the Palestinians living in Judea and Samaria or the West Bank, and that is a larger can of worms.
And Gaza also.
Okay, but Chazi, what CT brought up is such a much more important, wider point, right? And I really don't want to engage with it because I hear you, CT. I very much disagree, and I think that there, and this started with I would say the Enlightenment, where we started thinking, hey, let's look at these religious fights, right, and stand outside of them and criticize how faulty they are. But the fact is, and this is why I think, unfortunately, the West has lost its will to live, is that we've started believing that you can exist as a human being without these structures, as you called them, right? Like, okay, I'm not going to bother with the Bible. I'm not going to bother with the Quran. I'm not going to bother with the ancient books, et cetera, et cetera. And what you end up with is a tree with its roots cut off. A car that's driving on fumes because the gas tank, which gave you your motive force, has been cut off. And I think that's what happens when you cut yourself off from that religious institutions.
I agree with that.
Okay, so would you agree that space travel is like the ultimate frontier, Jacob?
I think it's one of the two. Yeah, I think that and understanding consciousness, intelligence.
Okay, the way I look at it is this: could you imagine the absurdity it would be if somehow we managed to travel just within the solar system, and you have individuals on the spaceship arguing about which God is the true God, or which sect is the true sect, or which doctrine is the true. Could you imagine the absurdity of this shit? You have a mission to, let's say, terraform Mars.
Why?
And you have religious animosity amongst passengers, or you have religious animosity amongst the crew, and they start fighting. Like, imagine they start fighting over their own beliefs, right? Their individual beliefs, right? That's why I say it's just something that, when I said earlier, it should just be very, very private. It should be a private practice.
How much do you listen to Jordan Peterson?
I used to listen to him a lot when I was younger, but I don't listen to him as much now. Yeah.
So, well, I mean, you're not that old, and Jordan Peterson hasn't been around that long. So,
like 10 years. Oh, yeah, about 10 years.
I'm going to quote myself. I don't believe in a God you can see through a microscope or a telescope, but I do believe in a God whose existence is necessary for you to look through a telescope or a microscope.
Okay.
The question becomes, and one of the first discussions that Jordan Peterson had was with this woman. I think her name is Susan Blackmore, and it's worth going back to. And the fact is, without a belief in reality, in Jordan Peterson's conception of what he calls God, which is much broader than what a lot of people imagine the word theism to be, right? You cannot do science. You cannot explore without the presuppositions of, yes, there is a world which makes sense. There is a world in which, when I actually attempt to do X, Y, and Z, that attempt actually is meaningful. And without that type of meaning, you end up with the depressed and anxious generation that we have now. So I don't think that you will have people on a spaceship who don't argue, who don't believe in my God and my thing.
Let me ask you this real quick. Do you think Richard? Are you familiar with Richard Feynman?
I'm somewhat familiar with him. Yes.
No, listen. He died, when I was 5. I never knew him.
Yeah.
All I know about him is his videos and what he did for physics. But he didn't seem depressed to me as an atheist. Now, he was a Jew. He was born Jewish, right? I think his mother was Jewish, right? So he was
I think that is living off the fumes of religiosity.
Okay.
I think
I agree with that.
And that's why Dawkins, right? He calls himself a cultural Christian.
Yeah.
And if you've been following the evolution of Cosmic Skeptic, right? As he's been mediating between Jordan Peterson and Dawkins, the fact is that what we think of atheism is deeply Christian. It's deeply, deeply Christian.
Yeah.
Well, CT, and this is why what Jacob ultimately, I think, is alluding to is the idea we call the meaning crisis today, which ultimately means the idea of consciousness, or even going to Mars, right? What's the undergirding force behind that is, in exploring these things, is a religious idea. Okay, that's what's behind these. What's pushing people to go forward, and that's why I would even say my challenge to atheists is that, again, once you start using the term evil or good, you're already borrowing from a religious frame. So,
right.
It's not. You could argue that maybe, like, there was this, they put up this, they made this this social media for AIs, and within like 24 hours, they already started like a new religion or something like that. Like this is a pattern that seems to repeat itself. Now you could challenge how the authenticity of these religions. Nevertheless, the operating system of these religions clearly has been very beneficial to Jews and to the whole world. And I just hope Gaul, our friend, made sure to make a bracha, a blessing beforehand.
Chaotic, you know, it's interesting because you see the spirit of exploration as being non-religious, but like, where did the explorers come from in the last 5 centuries?
No,
Thorpe's right on this, man. Can I add to you, Thorpe?
I didn't say that.
Wait, hold on. I want to add to Thorpe's thing. Do you believe the metaphysical is as much part of reality as the physical? Right? Because you're talking about the great voyage into the beyond of space. Do you believe that that's as much a metaphysical journey once we get out there? Who knows what we find? Who knows what social and moral questions are going to be asked of humanity when we reach those places? And you're telling me no one should come with a rule book or a guidebook of any kind?
No, what I'm saying is
that's
that
what religion is, right? You hold on. Okay,
go
religion. That's what you said. Religion is the structures, the organization, right?
Sure.
The things that build and organize society. You give props to both mine, you know, my buddies down there in Thorpe's organizational, right? So are you saying that all comes from a metaphysical investment in those rules that you said are made up in Pokemon?
No, what I'm saying is
we don't have those physical. What I'm saying is those physical manifestations of organization that you love come from following metaphysical ordinance that you say is equivalent to Pokemon.
But Gimpy, how can you do it when you have people who are generally stupid? They generally have their own interpretation of a text. You generally have people who aren't even evolved enough to even do something, to even reach those heights of civilization, right? That's what I'm saying.
Can I give you the most frustrating answer on earth? It's
I think
God's will.
Okay,
it's God's will.
Let's be honest about it. Just look at the Christian church, right? How many different goddamn denominations are in the Christian church? How many different?
Dude, you had 5 Jews or 4 Jews up here today, and none of us are in the same. Me and Spiro here come from opposite sides of the same coin. Dude, I'm just trying to point out to you, the one below me over here, Jacob, is more like a Breslava Chassid than he is me and Spiro. A Breslava Chassid. It's a sect of Judaism. Again, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, if I told you, I texted you, today you got the rarest of all the Pokemon Jews up on your thing. You had a left-wing Zionist who wasn't religious, who lives in Israel. You have an Orthodox Jew who's left-wing, or moderate left would be more accurate, who comes from famous Jewish stock, by the way. It's not just his father-in-law, folks. Yeah, Spiro here has a famous last name. And then Jacob over here is but he's not Hasidic. He may come from Hasidic background, but he holds Hasidic views in anti-Zionism. He aligns the most with people who are of like Hasidic descent of Shtetl Europe, Breslava, Naturi Kota. I can give you a whole list if you want.
But Mizrahi.
Yeah, but he's Persian. He's from the group that generally is the most like me.
Gimpy. Listen, this is all bullshit. This is all speculation. This is all just hypothetical, what I'm about to say. What if we eventually open that door up to a type 1 civilization, and you still, even within that type of civilization,
you ever see Futurama?
Hold on, let me just finish. You have radical Muslims. Let's say you have radical Muslims who will use a super weapon and say, God told me to destroy this planet.
Yeah, but you can't achieve type 1 like that. Hold on. So my answer to you is Futurama. No, my answer is Futurama. Eventually you'll have an amalgamation. Whether we're right or wrong, because humanity keeps intermingling, right? Soon there won't be a singular race, right? Everybody will be a blend. Even me and my friend over here are blended with Europe in our background, even though we're majority Lebanon DNA we can trace our roots back to the same 9 women, basically, genetically. So, again, you'll achieve that amalgamized religion where it's like Futurama, where everybody worships the same thing, because that's the only way you get a type 1 civilization. Dude, Thorpe, I could be second Catholicism for all we know. I'm not denying that you might be right. What I'm saying is, in order to achieve a type 1 civilization, that goes away.
What does that mean? What's that a reference to, type 1?
The Kardashev scale. If anybody wants to explain it, I can explain it to you.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with the term.
So it's like being able to travel planet to planet, deep space. It's overcoming all the food. You no longer have
it's a future
shortages.
thing?
It's like, it's like communism as a utopia. That's what it was aiming for. A type
It's just
one
like Star
civilization.
Trek versus
a
Star
type,
Wars.
yeah,
right?
Star Trek
Yeah.
is like a type 2. Star Wars is like a type 3.
Yeah, there's two visions
You're
in science
galactic
fiction.
now,
One that's
you know,
deeply
whereas-
religious, like Star
Right.
Wars. Then there's the secular version, which is Star Trek. I
Right,
think
but again,
religious
in order
people here
to
would
achieve
say,
that
"Oh,
type
it's gonna
one
look like Star Wars."
civilization,
The secular types would say it's going to be like Star Trek.
yes, but in order to achieve that type one civilization, just period, for the sake of type one civilization minimum requirements, you have to shed that conflict around metaphysical. We would all end up agreeing. That would be a prerequisite, is that you get us to agree on what metaphysical means.
Can I try answering, CT?
Sure.
CT, you asked how do we advance despite the fact that human beings are stupid, and we are stupid, right? The fact is we advance by forming hierarchies and by using distributed cognition, which means that in conversation, in dialogue with other people, we set up a hierarchy where we recognize that some people are wiser than others. Some people understand more than others. And yes, by actually forming relationships where some people lead and others follow, right? And frankly, this discussion has led me to believe is you're one of the wisest people I've ever met.
Thank you.
And I'm not saying that just to gloss you. I'm not.
Pause. Pause, right, Ben? He needs to pause right there. On that one.
Well, we're going to reform the Jewish Black Alliance right here. Civil Rights Part 2.
Nothing happened to the Jewish Black Alliance. even though we
CT's already aligned with us, Thor. CT's already aligned with us.
But Jacob,
He's got his place in the Greater Israel Project and everything.
But Jacob, you stand above a very silly conversation, and that became evident by your actions and your way of engaging with the conversation.
Thank you. You know what I always loved about the Jews? They don't proselytize. I could walk right down their street. They're all outside. They're minding their business. But then, when I was a kid, I lived in a changing community as a kid growing up. I was like 6 or 7, maybe. Back then you could go to the store by yourself, 6, 7, 8. And I remember this black guy. He may have been like 50 at the time. Now he's sitting in the Arab store, and the Arab is telling him the language of God is Arabic, and the stupid black is just laughing like, "Yeah, man." I said, "This got to be," and I was a kid, like, "This got to be a stupid idiot there for him to sit up here in his own neighborhood." The Arabics exploiting this dumbass because the Arab has a business here selling him poison, beer, and shit. And he over here got the Arab telling him that the language of God is his motherfucking language. So the thing is, man, is that who's to say, right? Who's to say this? Now, I'm going to use the Jews as an example. Now, Gippy said, well, if we get to this type 1 civilization, everybody's on one accord. That might be true. But what if there are some Jews who say, well, this planet right here, that's our holy planet. And here you have a fucking holy war at a planetary.
And it wouldn't be a type 1 civilization. That's the point.
Okay.
That's the point. If you have that sort of conflict, and then you regress as a civilization. You can't. That's the whole point. Like type 1. Hold on. Sorry. Go ahead, man.
You can't have a motive force for your society without an idea of sanctity, right? The song I hate the most is "Imagine," because it's a beautiful song with really stupid lyrics.
Yeah, it's true.
If there's nothing to die for, there's nothing to live for.
True.
If you don't love, right? If you can't hate, you can't love. If you can't care about something, right? And that's why you're never going to have a society of people like what does Buddhist detachment leave you with? Nihilism. That's why I hate to say it. I love my Buddhist brothers and sisters, but their societies have not progressed and don't have the motive force that Western society does, because they aspire towards detachment as opposed to having passions for the right things.
Let me read these super chats. John Dunning said they fight that people fight and don't even know what they are fighting about. It's just a different perspective, and everyone wants to be right. Bobby says, Jacob and Kezi, you guys are a part of the 96 Bulls. I already read that one. Thank you guys so much, man, for the super chats. And guys, please go over to Veritas and get you some healthy organic products. I've been using the soap. It is made out of beef tallow. Guys, get the likes up. Share the video. Go ahead, Gimpy. Go ahead.
CT, I would one I would mention, getting to this stage 1 planet is
Type 1 civilization.
Stage 1 civilization is in line with Isaiah, right? Which is a house of prayer for all nations. Ultimately, that is the call, right? Everyone is invited inside. It's there for everyone. Now, I'll also mention that what Jacob spoke about here about as far as the East and the West, just a little idea I'll try to tease out in 1 second. But if you look at the days of creation, there are the days basically repeat themselves. You have 3 days which are static days, right? You have like the lights are being made, and the oceans are being made, and the land is being made, but there's nothing on it. And then you have 3 days which are those same days in motion. You have fish made in the sea, which is ocean with life, and you have an earth made with animals, which is earth with life. And you have the luminaries, the sun, the moon is made with Osho, is showing that there's life. And this is a difference between the Eastern and Western understanding of things, right? One, it has this idea of moving forward constantly, and one is very static in its ways. And the Jews see themselves sort of as a mix of that, which you have 6 days of work and you have 1 day of rest. And there is a balance of these things that you could get. And again, Judaism is offering an operating system, and like you mentioned, which is not proselytizing, as in we're offering a system that if it works well, from all the way from the individual, as in just from Chezi, to Chezi and his family, to Chezi and his community, to Chezi and his neighborhood, to his city, all the way into the body politic. And ultimately, if that could be done, that is the gift to the world. If other nations and other communities could copy that, that makes you move forward, and all in their own flavor, right? I'm not expecting a Christian or a Muslim or a Buddhist to be mapping on the same exact way culturally to my operating system. But that is really the gift. And the idea is like really getting to what you said, to an understanding. And that understanding, of course, requires each and every one of us to take a step back like God does and retract ourselves to make room for the other. So being in this conversation and even speaking to Ben right now, which I know Jacob will roll his eyes and disagree with, because I do feel, Ben, at times you could be bad faith. But the reason I'm engaging in this is because I am trying to minimize myself and find room for you to be able to express yourself and being seen. That's the mode.
Do you think the state of Israel is seen by any other nation in the world as a light to the nations currently in the last 5 years?
Up until this recent war? Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Since 2023.
Yes, India just came over here, made many deals. Now,
no,
again,
the people, not governments. Stop talking about deals with governments. I'm talking about the people who see what's going on there.
Yes,
I'll tell you, Persian people right now are very, very grateful to Israel for being willing.
Okay, you got to talk over me. Okay,
yes,
IDF.
I am.
IDF talks over. Talk over the goy. That's right.
The Persian people are very grateful that Israel is willing to stand up for what is right, whereas many other countries are not.
I do agree.
What I'm saying is the people
of the world. He's about to tell you that he disagrees completely with that statement, and you do understand he led with saying that he disagrees with that mentality, right? Like, you're not even listening. Look, gentlemen, you clearly do this all the time, and this is something you guys seem to have a thing for with your Torah study on your Thursday nights. It's very nice of you. Very actually typical. That being said, you're not at all well prepared for these. Like, I feel obligated, being someone who's been in the trenches like this for 5 years, doing this YouTube thing and taking guys like Ben and having to deal with it. But you guys are not listening to what they say. Like, you're not being effective debaters, honestly, because he leads his whole. Yeah, but he's trying to debate you. You can't.
I'm talking to
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if you're not playing. You're trying to assess a line of facts so that they get caught in their own statements, and then you turn it on them. And that's the standard tactic that you've been using all morning. I've been watching all day, and it's fine. But you guys are not listening to what he says. He comes from the beginning. His initial statement says that he doesn't align. Just because he didn't verbatim say those words, his presentation is telling you he aligns zero with the government of Israel and all the choices it makes. He sees them as an occupying force. Again, I'm trying to help my brothers out here. He sees them as an occupying force. He's referenced that already this morning. Since you're here engaging with him, you still keep coming from him from a neutral perspective, is my point, as if there's some chazbara that you're going to make that will move the needle. There is none. There is. You can get him to see you as a human, which he's humanized you. He's really good at that. Ben's excellent at this stuff. Like, Ben is a master class at what he does on the internet. And if you want to see master class at work, Thorpe, dude, he's so good that a place called the Keynote Casino gave him credit for his insanity on the internet, and they're famous. So I'm just saying, he's a master class. You should understand what you're dealing with when you deal with him, and you're not listening to his position. So you're arguing from, like, you're presenting facts he's already pushing off the table to begin with. You're feeding his narrative. Listen to how he responds. You're cutting me off. Let the guy speak. Listen to all the statements he's making. You're not being effective. You're not at all moving. In fact, every time you talk in that manner, when he's on a roll, the needle's coming back at you, brothers, completely. Because that's what they want. That's the phrase. That's what it means when they make us turn out our pockets. That's literally what the phrase means, is the more we do it, the more the needle hits us in the face. It's like walking on the rake over and over and over again.
So, Gimpy, I'll ask you, first of all, I appreciate the concern, truly, and I'm not speaking for
Jacob.
It's
a concern for the arm.
This is definitely not, this is not my forte. This is not what I do. But, however, and this is what I asked Ben last time, which is, really, what is there anything Jacob or I or Gimpy could even say that would make you change your mind? And if the answer is no, then yeah. Then
he'll never tell you the answer is no. You already know the answer. Hold on, time out, Thorpe. Let me finish, and then you can have all day with these two. Spiro, you already gave the answer. What is anti-Semitism according to you? It's a feature, not a bug.
Correct.
Okay? It's Kibul Malchut Shamayim. That's what we are. That's who we are. You can't explain that to people. There's nothing you're going to say that's going to effectively pass along the Kedusha of Kibul Malchut Shamayim the way you understand it to someone who has no background or willingness to understand it. Who's coming from a perspective that thinks that what motivates us is terrible. He'll say things like we're the Church of Satan. He'll say things that we're not the real Jew. I'm not you personally, the guy who's going to come at them. They'll say all sorts of things to disregard everything you say. So you're never going to be able to express that thing, which is what you two are trying to do desperately.
But Gimpy, you're calling me a sneaky Jew. You're calling me sneaky Jew. You're giving me the Jewish stereotype of the sneaky,
Dude, no, I'm saying you say it outright already. In fact, I've said you clearly said it outright, man. I haven't said you're sneaky. I'm saying they're not listening to you. That's what I'm saying here.
Jew checks the goy.
Anyhow, that's my point to you. When you engage in these sorts of things, look, even now, you see, it's even happening now. I'm not even talking to him, right? This is how it works out here. If you're going to come out here and you're going to do Maras Ayin to the whole universe in perpetuity for all time, and both of you know exactly what Maras Ayin is.
Yes, and Gimpy, I think maybe you are underestimating both Chazi and me.
No, I'm not underestimating you. You are underestimating the feature.
I think you could
You
use
are
a little bit
underestimating the
more-
feature, sir.
I think you could use a little bit more Amuna.
Oh, I have a ton of Amuna. If you knew who I was and where, like, dude, how do you think I know all you people? Stop.
Wait, can I
Let
tell
me
you
be
guys
clear.
about
I have full Amuna.
It doesn't
Bitachon
sound like you
b'Hashem.
know
Yo,
me.
dude, Bitachon b'Hashem is me coming up here and warning you and giving you perspective on what you're doing so your hubris isn't as big. You are not going to move the needle. It is a feature, not a bug. You
Can I
can
tell
make
you
nice all you want.
Can I tell you
Your
guys?
enemy is still going to shoot you in the face, buddy.
Can I tell you guys about a Jewish man that I know? He is a descendant of Maimonides, which you reckon, like his last name is Maimon. He's Jonathan Maimon. He lives in Las Vegas. And I would love for you guys to interact with him. He's a Jewish man, and I do think Jews should get other Jews.
Very
on-
unfortunately, he's come on my channel before.
You know him? Oh, yeah. Okay. He's quite a colorful guy. But I
He
do
is a
believe
very colorful guy.
I do believe
Not
he is a
interested.
descendant of Maimonides.
I am much more interested in engaging in the points CT is making, because CT is bringing up things which are actually
CT isn't asking you to turn out your pockets either. So that's my point.
I agree with you, Jacob, what you're saying to CT. I think we're religious by nature. Human beings are religious. So to say we're going to transcend is ridiculous.
Do you agree with me that the West seems to have lost its feelings of self-preservation and its motive force?
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt. There's so many examples.
What do you think? Why do you think that is?
I mean, something as small as even I give you very small examples. The other day I was in the art museum and I just wanted to destroy every goddamn contemporary art piece imaginable. I said, how did we go from how did this civilization go from Baroque, classical architecture, you know, like Romanesque, Greek, Art Deco, to this shit right here that I'm seeing here? You know,
ask who runs the museums, who runs modern art museums.
So how do
I mean modern art museum? Now, Ben, I don't know who runs modern art museum.
It is.
I don't think it's the Jays.
Modern art comes from Jewish.
They have board of directors. They're not all Jews.
Huge influence of modern art.
I don't listen.
Jewish.
All I'm saying is that I can see I can see Western civilization falling just by going outside, and every goddamn car looks like a fucking refrigerator. I'm like, what the fuck happened to this country?
Have you seen the Los Angeles Cathedral?
Yes, I have.
No, I have never. No, I've never seen it. No,
it's crazy.
It is. They spent hundreds of millions of dollars on that thing. It may be the ugliest building ever.
What the fuck is this?
Wild.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh, I'm looking at it now. This is horrifying.
It is horrifying. It is horrifying.
What the fuck? Oh.
And this is what happens when Catholics. Oops, sorry, Ben. The fact.
Oh no.
Hundreds of millions of dollars.
No, man.
Hundreds of millions of dollars.
I think it's interesting. I think it's an interesting building.
You think that shit is interesting?
Have you seen the church they just built after 140 years in Spain?
Look at what look at what it replaced, which was Saint Vibiana's. Saint Vibiana's. Look up Saint Vibiana's.
Saint Vibiana's.
VIBIA.
VIV.
VIB as in boy.
Okay.
V as in Victor. IB. Yeah. Vibiana's.
Gotcha.
So there's a reason why the West has lost its will to live. And I think a large part of that is a lack of belief in the creator God.
I can see that. I you know what? I've heard that argument before, that the cathedrals were built in a way that the scale and the architecture was it was almost to represent heaven on earth. Yeah, I can see what you're saying about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you've noticed what we've noticed, which is beauty, right? Truth, beauty, and goodness are things which people need to be invested in order to pursue.
I'll mention that when I'm not doing this, when I'm not involved in online, I have an architecture, design, and management company in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. I build homes and villas, and I very much do focus with my clients together. And I would say a majority of my clients are also observant Orthodox Jews, even though they're all from the States, England, and we really work very hard when figuring out the layout and the architecture and the flow of the house, how it represents, in a certain sense, how they're living their life and what their commitment to God is. And those questions come into play with the lighting we pick, with the kind of chairs we pick, with how the house is being used. And I agree that unfortunately that is lost on us today. And it is very, very important to bring that back, whether it's music or whether it's architecture. These are expressions of culture, and even akin in a certain sense to prophecy, because prophecy is really taking the ineffable and making it ineffable. And whether you're doing music or you're building a house, or putting different things together and creating a coherent culture, or a coherent element out of them. And it would behoove us to participate as such with more sincerity. I'd also just ask Gimpy, do you think even the interaction with CT is Chilul Hashem, as they say?
No.
Okay.
Because he's dealing with, like, you have to be able to tell good faith from bad clearly, like, and carefully. And once you notice it, you have to change how you deal with things. I'll give Jacob credit, man. Like, he's fighting, he's trying to do it the way so many try and do it. But if modern history teaches us anything, it's a feature, not a bug. Hasbara treats it like a bug.
CT,
can be overcome. It can't. It's ebbs and flows. They hide in the shadows for 80 years because of the Shoah. And now that time is over, and it's going back to how it was. We just don't understand it because none of us were alive. But this is what my grandmother used to talk about every day.
CT,
your great grandmother talked about, right?
Let me do.
These are the things that this. Ben, go ahead.
Let me just do a little experiment to see if these three guys are going to be honest. These three fine Jewish gentlemen can be honest. When Chaotic Truths talks about the degeneracy of modern art, okay, and modern architecture, do you know what historical movement very profoundly also made those points in the middle of the last century?
Of course, the Nazis made those points. So
I'm just saying.
Hitler was a vegetarian and he drank water. But big, like,
he also used coke and
very stupid
regularly
points.
at the prescription of his doctor.
And for example, the Bauhaus movement, right, which came out of mid 20th century.
Jacob, can I just say? Can you pause? Wait, Ben, I'll let you go back. I just want to say one thing.
Jewish movement, right? It was largely a Jewish movement.
Hold on, Ben, 1 second, dude. Feature, not a bug. This is an example of it. You have to understand that that's why we are losing the information war. Is too many of us treat it like a bug.
I'm sorry, I disagree. I disagree with you. I think there's
name me a time in history that there hasn't been a predominant amount of what you define as Jew hate throughout the world. The only difference is that whether it's allowed in the light or not. It's varying degrees of the ruling class allowing the masses to exercise that.
You have this conversation.
Purim is the literal demonstration. We just went through it. Purim is the literal historical demonstration of how I am correct. Of what I am saying right now to you about how it's always there, and it's about who rules us and what they allow to happen.
You're making it look like when you Jewish people talk, they use secret codes, secret language, and they have a secret understanding of their special strategy. You are making...
No, I'm talking about my religion and my history. Why would I talk? I'm not going to sit here and explain it to you. I am talking about things openly, and anybody who understands them...
Goy are not around.
No. See, I have nothing to hide. See, that's where there's nothing wrong. Just because you don't understand what I'm saying shows how little you know about the people you claim to hate.
Trope possible right now,
dude. Okay, buddy. If you think that that's what's happening, that's a demonstration of your ignorance. You can keep casting aspersions, sir, but we are talking openly. If you don't understand what we're talking about, it means you don't understand Judaism. That's all that demonstrates is because we're talking about Judaism to people who are
Sounds like
proficient
you're-
in Judaism who do not need to be explained basic concepts. I don't have the time to explain to you everything that my statement means, A, and B,
Right.
you are correct. I'm not actually talking to you.
Right, you're
So
strategizing with
no, I'm not.
your
I'm
other
having
members of
I'm
your
having a
in-group
literal
on
dude. If you
how
think that
to
that's what it
protect
is,
yourself
then you
from the
understand
majority
very little
population.
about what
Yeah.
I am saying.
Right, through lying and strategizing. Yes.
Dude, there's not a lie here to be
We're- I
told. That's
don't
the
think these
thing.
guys
See,
wanna
this
do
is
this,
how
but
bad
you wanna
faith.
do this.
This is how bad faith works, Kusky. He doesn't understand us, so what we must be saying is lies.
CT,
You see that?
I very much enjoyed my conversation with you.
Thank you so much. Jay.
I do have to go. I am going to take my channels off. So anybody who's been watching, please come over to CT's channel and subscribe. I will put the link to his channel again. And I have to say, like, I disagree very much with Gimpy. I disagree very much with Ben, but that's beside the point. There are real discussions to be had, and I do have enough faith in the Logos to believe that having these discussions is actually a positive thing, both for us as Jews and for any Gentiles who are willing to actually take Judaism seriously, which you seem like. I would love to have a one-on-one conversation with you if you would ever be willing to come on my channel.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, I would definitely. Yep. Oh yeah.
That sounds great. So people, I put the link to CT's channel there. I am taking my channel off the off right now. So move over to here, like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. And